Well, good evening. This is another mentor response for week 6. This past week, I met with my mentor over lunch. We talked for about 2 hours in person, and the main theme of what we talked about was um, how I view God, how I connect with God, and we talked about knowing God. Um, how I view God really stems from my relationship with my earthly father as well. We talked through a lot of, I feel like I have to earn and earn God's love and continue to, perform and perform and perform, and then eventually God will love me enough. We talked about how I can preach God's love and preach that God is all loving and is all loving and loves everything about you and loves you. But for some reason, I have a hard time believing that for myself. And we talked about how that probably stems from my relationship with my earthly father. We also talked about how I connect with God. We discussed the Sacred Pathways book, and we talked about how my three different pathways were the naturalistic view, the naturalist view, um, the enthusiast view, and the caregiver's view. And the one I love the most, the one I feel like that I connect with God the most, I don't get to do near as often, and that's the naturalist view, the naturalist pathway. We talked about ways that I could actually do that, be in the wilderness, be in the woods, to actually really connect with God. And there's a local park here called Eagle Creek Park, and we discussed how on my days off on Friday, because I normally try to exercise, do some sort of walking around my house. But we discussed, taking the time to go to Eagle Creek. They have a bunch of wooded trails, and just walking through the woods and experiencing the presence of God and just the glory of God through His creation. And so he just really encouraged me to do that on my Friday, or on my off day, which is Friday. And so that was really encouraging. And then lastly, we got to the knowing God. Like, do I really know the heart of Jesus? And I think that was the hardest thing for me, is because I don't think I fully know Him yet. I want to, but I think I still struggle with the pride, and I still struggle with really allowing myself to press in and really know the heart of Jesus. And so that's something that we're going to talk about the next time we get together, is just truly knowing Him. We talked about Galatians 5, that if we walk by the Spirit, we will not gratify the desires of the flesh. The Spirit is always in contrast with the flesh, and we talked about what it means to have real freedom in Christ. My mentor was amazing. He said, we're not free. Anything that is created beings is not free, but we have freedom in Christ. And so I hadn't really ever even thought about that. That the only freedom, like, cognitively I knew that, but to hear him say it really clicked. And so that's something I really want to pursue as I go on these walks and stuff, is really starting to contemplate, what does it mean to be free in Christ. And so this class has just been amazing. It's been very refreshing. It's been like water for my soul. So looking forward to the next time we meet. Thanks for listening.